So well done, everyone. Appreciate that. It was really, really good. So the first question actually I've got is for Anas. And the question was, obviously you guys span quite the full spectrum of the construction industry. So what are some of the challenges and opportunities, of serving such a wide range of the construction industry?
Right. Yeah, that's correct. We do cover the full spectrum of the construction industry, and we see this as challenging as it is. We see it as a good opportunity to pinpoint where the gaps are happening between the full chain of construction, from design all the way to construction and operation. It does highlight for us where we can help our clients in different stages of the project. And the way we look at it is that it's a really good source of data for us to take on, to learn and develop solutions that can fit the market. So, yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. And at any point, was that a hand? Sorry, you can't flinch. At any point, if you want to raise your hand and ask a question, please feel free. So the next one I have here actually is for Cody. So actually, you've got two for you. So the first one is, in your opinion, who should lead or who leads constructability in this day and age?
Yeah, I think it's a joint effort of the whole team, but I think, as a whole, I don't think that the GCs, we should give that up. I think that we lead the charge because we are so in tuned with all the subs and the general market as a whole. And I think overall that we would lead the process, but we need to engage better with people from all different backgrounds, the design aspect and of the clients.
Cool. And whilst you still got the mic, I suppose, you spoke a lot about constructability.
Yep.
What would you say was the key difference between constructability and coordination?
Yeah, so with constructability, the aspect of constructability begins at the very napkin stages, and then it leads all the way into the point in which we go to contract. That's really the pre-con aspect of the industry. Once we go past that, it then turns into coordination. But what tends to happen that I've seen is that coordination starts to occur earlier on, and that's really more constructability.
So, that's good. A question for Nigel, please, around Kobe data. So you mentioned Kobe data in your presentation. So Kobe data is asked for a fair amount. So what's your experience of the client or end user actually using that Kobe data?
Directly, never. I've never seen it used directly, but it is a standard format, and it is being specified in situations where, like I was talking about in the presentation, you don't want to confuse the delivery team, be that designers or the construction team, with a different format every time they've got to issue information. So Kobe is a standard, it's used. We've been brought in our experience then to take that data and to format it in a way that can be used in the CAFM software. But on the other side, some of the more forward-thinking clients that we're working with are using Kobe as a data specification for their asset teams as well. It's not just the designers who have to struggle to put this stuff in together. It's a standard again, so why not use that to be battering the people who are managing your FM software, who are developing the asset management tools, to say we need compliance with this. Once we get that on both ends of the spectrum, actually they'll be happy because they know the information's flowing directly from one state to another. So no, never, but ...
What role do you think education plays a part in making that happen? Yeah.
I think education, it always comes back to understanding what is needed and how to map that to what you're going to get delivered. The only way to do that, the presentation about 5 things that a BIM coordinator does. Point 4, communication. Without that, you can't produce the information. You can't get onto point 5. And it's, as you said, it's the most important. Got to kind of totally agree with that. Communication, education, telling people why something is needed is so often forgotten. We want this, we want this. Tell them why.
Brilliant, thank you. And Daniel, just a small question for you that people are asking. So you've done quite a lot with a small team. Is there something, not to put you on the spot, but is there something that stands out for you and your team that really help you to achieve sort of the workloads that you are able to produce?
So something that we do that is standing out, Well, the health check is something that really stands out because with the help of that health check, we can have that connectivity, and the most important thing is the standardization. So, because in the beginning, before we had that health check, we delivered our models to the department, to the calculation department, but it was always the case, where do we find that information? They always had to go and look for everything, and it was not easy for them. So that's why we thought about it. We have to get that standardization ready, and we achieved that for our calculation department, and now we are doing the same steps for our the other department. I don't know anymore.
No.
The where you get the prices.
Okay. Yeah.
So this we are doing this step by step, and I think it's a very important thing that we are doing.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. So we've got one question in the audience, if you don't mind, please.
Hello. I have a question for Nigel. You draw a line between what's the BIM coordinator's job and not by explaining that execution plan is not the responsibility of the BIM coordinator. So how do you approach to a client? Do you have a client that wants guidance from you to define the needs of their data? Because in small and mid-sized projects, clients usually don't know what they want and need help to identify them.
Yeah, absolutely. So just to clarify, the BIM execution plan needs to be done regardless of whether you're being paid to do BIM coordination. It needs to be done to be able to tell the client. And in those kind of situations, particularly the small and medium... Well, that's a bit loud, isn't it? Totally threw me. I think that's the important thing in terms of those clients on small and medium projects who, let's face it, they do know what they want. They just don't know how that relates to this information management environment. They know exactly what they want. They just need to be able to be helped in communicating that to the design team in terms of information. It's one of those things that they don't look at enough because it's maybe not on their radar because they're concentrating on the commercial aspects of it, making sure the project, particularly in terms of universities, well, to be fair, they are looking at those kind of things, but their main criteria is it open when the school term starts? That's their main consideration. So the way we try to look at it with our clients and our design teams that we work with is trying to ascertain what is needed at which stage, and whether that information already exists or not. If it does, put it in the BIM execution plan to instruct the client that this is what you're going to get. And then what we tend to do is actually work with the client after the project to say, okay, that was good. Did you get the information you wanted? What else could you have had that would have made your project more successful? That's the only way of doing it. Colin was talking earlier from Kier about measuring the successes on projects. What we like to do on projects is to measure the failures. So then you can improve what you're doing next time. So it's an iterative process, but they've got to be open to that kind of progress. Does that answer the question?
Yes, exactly. But what I meant by sometimes they don't know what they want, I didn't mean that they don't know what. I didn't mean that they don't know what they want, but sometimes they don't know the capabilities of the BIM process that can help them with their business. So how do you handle that? Do you handle that, or does anyone, any other party involved in that kind of process?
So you're saying that the client doesn't really know what the technology can give them?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Again, that's an education process. Sometimes it is as simple as going through the information that they've had on previous projects and showing them that the data is there. if they'd done things in a slightly different way, they would have got better benefits from that information. I think probably, somebody else here can pick up on that. And, what experiences do you have in helping those clients understand what they can achieve when they don't really know what they're going to get?
Yeah, 100%, yeah. I can just put on that just a similar example from life. Where you go to get treatment in the hospital, you kind of tell the doctor, I have a back pain or I have my stomach pain, but you don't have to describe it to the level where you can precisely mention the body components and the way they precisely say it. So maybe it goes through, as Nigel said, it goes through a process of asking more questions and engaging in a deeper level of communication. And then you maybe pinpoint some areas of opportunities that you can highlight and try to get these areas of opportunities discovered through a potential offering that you can do to your clients, and then hopefully deliver something that can have an added value to the end results. So, yeah.
So yeah, no, cheers. As an AEC industry, I completely agree. I think that educational piece is, for want of a better expression, trickling up. So you're getting clients and you're getting, contractors and everyone more and more informed about what is available. And as those conversations continue to grow, so does the offering and the understandings. So yeah, really good question. Thank you. So last one, we've still got a little bit of time if there isn't any more questions from the audience. It's a little bit of a curveball question. There's no right or wrong answer. In an environment like this, everyone talks about digital twins. It can be open to interpretations. Some people say you can't have a digital twin without embedded sensors within buildings to have real-time communication. From our panel today, I suppose the question would be, how would you briefly summarize a digital twin in your, and how do you see that conversation being had in 3 or 4 years' time, particularly with the advancements of technology? So a bit of a wide question. Who wants to go first?
Yeah, I think it starts from the very beginning. You got to understand your client at the very, very beginning of the process, and you have to, educate them on what is the final deliverable that you're going for. Are you going to use this effectively to run your facility? Because that's where the digital twin is really going to be the most impactful. And it's not just with this, cities also need to look at it as well. Each of these projects, as they're developed out of, as digital twins, the idea is the ecosystem, not just the individual product. And for a digital twin to really work, it has to have all the characteristics that we've talked about, but it also has to be able to integrate in a worldwide ecosystem.
If I can add to that, I think digital twin is very open in terms of how you can interpret it in different areas of the industry. And I don't think we should be worrying a lot about how do we define it. I think what Cody mentioned about how you just ask the questions of what the deliverables are needed for, that will be a solution designed to fit the problem rather than a solution that was designed to fit having imaginable problems that may exist or may not exist. So maybe we should focus more on what you need to solve first and then integrate the technology until the market transformation happen over time, where you will have enough systems that can be connected to the internet through IoT, and then more analysis systems that can give you very quick decisions making, that you can make it automated or based on somebody coming in and seeing the data and making decisions. So yeah, I think anything can be a digital twin, including your smartwatch in your hand. It's a digital replica of some data that you may want to know, which is maybe your heart rate or stuff like that. Yeah.
I think there's one thing that, again, terminology that people use, you have to define and understand what it is the other person's talking about. Digital twin has become a buzzword that is being used to sell software solutions at the moment. That's what it is. I think that the difference to understand is it's a twin. I'm a twin. I understand that I have got another guy in the world who looks exactly like me out there. You can't be a twin if you don't have that other physical aspect of your existence. I couldn't say I'm a twin if I didn't have a twin. There's a big difference between digital analysis, which is using quick, iterative engineering, optioneering approaches to find different solutions. That's digital analysis, to a digital twin, which is monitoring a real situation and getting feedback through IoT, those kind of investigations where, you know, if I turn the heating down for 10 minutes at 5 o'clock every night, I'm going to save £500 a month, those kind of things. That's a twin, and that's the only difference I think people need to understand. It has to have that physical duplicate.
Yeah, brilliant. No, thank you very much.
I don't have anything to add on this subject, so...
Good.
The final comment, I guess, for this session is that we don't want to get in the world of what we did with BIM, right? You know, we started out with it being a model, and then it became a software, and then it became this, and then it became a process, where it's really the whole thing is a process.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for your thoughts. I think we're just out of time now, so a big round of applause for our panel. And feel free to catch these guys at the back if you've got any further questions. Take care. Enjoy your lunch.